Moses saw was God's plan, where it started and where it's going. Looking at the book of Genesis and realizing that Moses wrote this book 2,500 years after it happened. Oh my. We have to really understand it. He says in Genesis 2 verse 4, these are the generations. Now he's referring to the time of creation, which is 7 days. Now, unfortunately, we have the Christians today fighting the science, and science fighting Christians, and they say, oh, this is wrong and that is wrong, and people say it's only 6 days. Well, I just got news for you. Everybody is totally not completely right, and everybody is not completely wrong, because you cannot separate God and science. You cannot separate God and science. God made science. God created the world. There was no one present. The first person to see it was Moses, when he said, I want to see your glory. Now, this glory that was passing him, you know, Romans says that even if people have never heard the gospel now, Jesus came and he opened the conscience of man. He opened the spirit man. And now no person ever has an excuse, because you can just look at nature. All around me, I see the beauty of God, and yet it's a fallen creation. The goodness of God is his creation. And you know what? It passes you every day. Genesis 2 verse 4, it says, these are the generations in the day that God created the heavens and the earth. Now, there's so much revelation in there. God made the heaven and the earth, not the heavens, the heaven and the earth. And the earth was dark and void, and the Spirit of God hovered over the water. And he said, let there be light. It was the first day. Wow. Then it was morning, evening, the second day. And you know what God did? He divided the waters from the waters, and he created a firmament, and he calls that heaven, that we call sky. And then it was day 2, day 3, morning, evening, it was good. Morning, evening, it was good. And on day 4, he created the sun, the moon, and the stars. But I really need to get your attention. And God said, let there be lights on the firmament of heaven. So he already created a firmament, and he called it heaven. Now, there's another like space he's creating, or let's say firmament. And there, what he's creating there, he says, let there be lights on the firmament of heaven to divide day from night. Please, this is the 4th day. He's only creating days and nights. What is happening here? Now, I can just tell you that from the beginning, what Moses saw was God's plan, where it started and where it's going. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, when God rested, this is God's timeline. It's not our timeline. But on day 4, our time starts. Oh, this is just so amazing. He says, let it be for days and seasons and years, and let them be for lights on the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. In 2 Peter, he also says, 1 day is with God as 1,000 years. 1,000 years is as 1 day. Now, if you look at when Jesus came, and you start the genealogy in Matthew 1, he says, Jesus was the son of David, the son of Abraham, the son of God. Now, let's look at all this. Day 1 was light. Day 2, day 3, day 4. He created the sun and the moon and the stars. So in the 1,000 years of human creation, on day 4, we pick it up in John. John says, in the beginning was the Word. And he connects, man, he immediately hooks John up with Genesis. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. In him was life, and the life was the light of man. Wow. And then he goes on and he says, now the true light is coming into the world. The same as here, the light was in the beginning, but only on day 4. So that 7 days of creation, they are the blueprint of God working with man. 3 is all about God, 4 is all about creation. But 3 plus 4 is God working with man. That's why Revelation is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. But this is so amazing because he calls this heaven again. So he created heaven and earth, then he made a firmament, and he divided the space between the waters. He calls that heaven. Then on day 4, he creates the sun, the moon, and stars. He calls it heaven. We call it space. Paul says, I was caught up in the 3rd heaven. Was he called up in space? No. Was he called up in the sky? No. What is the other heaven? Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. Isaiah had this vision. Man, is this not awesome? Psalm, David wrote, he said, the heavens belong to God, but the earth he has given to man. So there are 3 heavens, and it's all found in Genesis 1. Many people say that at Genesis there's a double creation, or it's confusing, it's not chronologic. Oh, please, it's spirit. It's symbols. Listen, we've got to get out of our mind. That's why he says we must renew our mind. We must let the word come in and separate our spirit and our souls, and not let our souls dictate how we're going to understand God. His spirit now agrees with our spirit, so we can get hold of our minds if we allow the word to just enter us and give life.